I'm Julie. There's no Alyssa. This is Stitching at the Cabin. Alyssa did have the baby. Really exciting. I will tell you about that a little bit. I'm sure she will give you the whole story because she was there and I was not. I know she's super excited about coming back. She wants you all to see new baby. I will tell you what new baby's name is as we progress. It may slip, but is stuck with me until she comes back, and I don't know when that will be. But hi, welcome. Let's see. We have I wrote things down backwards. I'm a mess. We have WIP SHARE, we have finishes. We have the winner of what day was new baby gonna be born. We have WIPs. I have haul. It's probably good Alyssa's not here, although she knows about it. I had to leave it out so she could play with it. We've played with it. It's so much haul, I can't even show you all the haul. It's a lot of haul. I'll show you some, and then we'll discuss whether or not you want to see more and how to do that if you do. And then I need to spin. And then we've got some stories. There's a lot that's happened. It has been a few weeks. Today is June, sorry, Alyssa texted me, June 1st, 2024. I keep thinking it's 2025. Does anyone else do that? I don't know why. I'm trying to, I'm aging fast enough as it is. I don't need to speed up time. Somehow I'm trying. It is 2024. So this is Saturday. I know, I've never filmed on a Saturday, I don't think, but this week has been so crazy busy that it was today or not at all. And so I opted for today. I have not stitched a single stitch yet today. And it is almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Can you believe that? I have been so busy today. Let's do this because this is fun and I get to, well, I don't get to see all of you, but I get to feel like I see all of you. Was it creepy when I did that while I said it? Alright, so the WIP SHARE is Stephanie! It is a Story Keep Water Dragon from Heaven and Earth Designs. It is Stokes. Let's see, what did she say? 16 count white Ada. As of January 20th, she was 35% complete. I believe Stokes retired. Heaven and Earth does not host her anymore, so good job getting this while you could, and it is absolutely beautiful. I love all of the dragons. I don't know that I had seen this one before. I think the one I've seen most often is like a green dragon, so this one's pretty nifty, and I bet by now you're probably like done. It just took a while to spin it. So thank you for sharing that, everybody. Ooh and ah over the beautiful dragon. If you have a WIP you would like to share, please send it to StitchingAtTheCabin@gmail.com. It goes on a wheel, I spin the wheel, and eventually it shows up on one of these episodes. If you have finishes though, send those. If you have finished something since the last video, send it. So as of the moment you see this, if you finish something before we put out another video, send it. StitchingAtTheCabin@gmail.com. Those do not go on a wheel. I just show you those, like these. Excuse me. I was just eating strawberries. Sam's Club has the best strawberries. I went to Costco, Sam's Club, an antique fair. We went to breakfast. It's been busy. So if I have strawberry seeds in my teeth, just pretend I don't. But they probably match the chair. But Sam's Club, best strawberries. The ones at Costco, they look good, but they don't taste as good as Sam's Club, in my opinion. Okay, finishes. Susie has been a busy bee. Congratulations, Susie, on all of these finishes. The first one is probably my favorite. But I don't know. You know what? I like a lot of them. She finished Fairy Tale Sampler by Dragon Dreams. I love that. I have never seen that. Not like I've seen everything, but I mean, I've seen a lot. And I hadn't seen that. Rosa by Mill Hill. Now, when I looked at it, I thought it was a Satsuma Street. When I just the colors and everything, I just assumed it. So when I scrolled and it said Mill Hill, I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Mermaids of the Seasons, Sal, Bella Filipina. That I kind of quiz myself before I look at the names of things, and I was thinking, is that a Mirabilia or is that a Bella Filipina? And I was kind of leaning towards Mirabilia, but I was wrong. It is Bella Filipina. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then Stonefish from Mill Hill, which I also really, 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 really like. I mean, I like them all, don't get me wrong, but so congratulations on all those finishes. If anyone has any questions, she did give me other information that I did not write down to give to you. So if you have questions about any of them, I may know the answer. If I don't, I will reach out to Susie and get you the answer. So don't hesitate to ask. You can email or you can comment below. And like too. Like it. I don't know why, but apparently liking it does stuff. Like it. Which reminds me, the last video, we got demonetized, that video, because when I showed you the alternative hose or little commercial thing, which I may forget to put in this one, but if I remember, if I forget to mention it again, I'm putting another one of the commercials in here. It probably won't have sound because the sound was an issue, and even though we technically own the right to those sounds because we paid for it and they did the whole thing, I didn't want to battle YouTube to try to get permission through them, so they just demonetized that video, and that's that. So if it doesn't have sound, it doesn't matter. Everything, there's no actual talking, it's just some cheesy music playing over the thing, so whatever. If I remember to talk about it later, it'll be later. So either I didn't and you just saw it, or I did and it's later. That doesn't help. Julie, you had a finish too. Great name. I always have to say that. This is from My Bobbin. This name, and it cracked me up when she said say it 3 times fast, because yeah. Aliona Reshetiniak. Something along those lines. Yeah, I didn't write down. I wrote something under it and I just couldn't read it. But I was talking about the backstitch. There was a ton of backstitch. It took a super long time to backstitch. But you can see, she always puts the dates at the bottom. So if you look at the bottom of the picture, it says when she started it and finished it, which I think is super cool. But she was talking about the backstitching and that there was a ton of it. But also she had to do some couching for it because just the regular backstitching didn't look right. So she decided to do some couching. But it took a heck of a long time to get through the backstitch portion of it. I like it. I like it a lot. I would hang that in my house. I'm not going to stitch it and hang it in my house because I have 300 other things I need to do, but I do like it and I would hang it. That's not like a hint. Send it to me. No. So congratulations to you too, Julie. So more finishes, please. Everybody send the finishes. I really like. Well, I like to see the WIP shares too, but like I've said before, putting in the finishes is way easier than putting in the WIP shares. I just plonk them in to the left and to the right. It works out really well. Okay, so the winner, I drum roll, but Adrian Smith, woo! You were the closest. I don't remember which your exact guest was. I think it was 8:26 at 6 p.m. 5:26 at 6 p.m. She was born 5:26 at like 6 a.m., 6 something a.m. I don't know the exact time. Like I said, I will tell you the story later of what our side of it. But congratulations. Reach out to me. Send me like your email, and whether, you know, send me an email and let me know whether you want the Heaven and Earth or 1, 2, 3 stitch, and we will make that happen. Congratulations. It turns out the last baby, Killen, was the winner, and she was so close. Killen, if you had moved yours from the 25th to the 26th, you would have gotten it. So next baby, it'll be a competition between you and Killen and Adrian. Did I just say that right? Did I get the right name? Yes, I did. Do you ever say that? You say a name and then all of a sudden you think, that's not right. Like when I was calling Noelle Nicole, I had that moment again. Oh no. 5:26 at 8 p.m. Oh, look at this. I wrote it down. 5:26 at 8 p.m. I think is what you had. But she was born 5:26 at 6 a.m. It did not go smoothly. We will go into that. Anyway, email me so I can get you the gift code. WIPs. You want to see some WIPs? I don't have as many as normal. Part of it is because I've been working so hard on that pond, which you'll see shortly, for new baby, and but I did have a couple new starts, but big buts. I did work on some oldies but goodies, some you haven't seen for quite a while, so there's that. But I think things are gonna kind of go back to normal now, so I should, well, okay, they're not gonna go back to normal because I still have to work on the pond, and I didn't even work on the birdhouse one, Au Fide Nichois. I need to do that because that's due in October. But I think at least being able to stitch after work and stuff is gonna go back to kind of normal. This is Gecko Heaven and Earth Designs, Annie Stagg, 25 count, 2/1, full cross. What I keep wanting to say that I keep forgetting to say is, remember I told you this part bothers me here, that I feel like I must have used the wrong color because it's really like chunky. I went back and I put in right down here the color that it's supposed to be, and it looks exactly the same. So I don't think it's the wrong color. I think it's just the way it's charted. So why that spot looks more blocky, I don't know, but I'm going with it because I don't know what else to do. So it is staying, at least for now. So we've been working on this page down here. That's a little bit of hair, and I know those colors are over there, so I was kind of working my way through the darker chunk, and then I'll go back up, and when I get these, I'll be able to fill that in. I did fill in a few, but yeah. I don't think I'm gonna do this anymore, where I let them hang the bottom. It's not causing any problems. It's just, it's a lot to look at, and I feel like probably unnecessary, so I'll probably, like over here, I finished them off at the bottom, but over here, I let them dangle. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I change my mind often. But anyway, there she is. There she blows. You guys are going to have to be a little bit more patient with me because I have to take my own pictures because somebody went and had a baby and isn't here. So, yeah. I don't know where the, I think I left it downstairs, the cover sheet. But basically, it's an Afghan. It's 25 squares, there's 5 across, 5 down, and it looks like kind of a farm scene. This is the roof of a house, and so this square is done. That was pretty quick. You gotta give me that. That was pretty quick. And so I've been working on this square. So I wanted to show it to you before I moved this down to a more comfortable spot. This is a 17 by 17 Q-snap. It's huge, but it's not too bad on my desk because this has taken the place of my Chatelaine for now. Since I finished Mirabilia, this kind of caught my eye, and so it's what I've been working on down there when I have time. But now that Alyssa's on maternity leave, I haven't worked on it a single day since she had the baby. I will try. Monday I have to go into work. I was gifted an office and I need to go set up the office, and that means I have to go at least once a month, maybe more often. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But Harvest Afghan, I think is the name of it. I got it in Stony Creek. Same with the fabric. It is Afghan sized. It is huge. Huge-ish. I really like working on it so much. It's 4/10 two. For the two, just like the Christmas Afghan, which you will see in just a moment because I did work on that tiny bit as well. So I like to look at this one. I have it across my office, just in the closet, so I can see it, and I just look at it every once in a while. So pretty. So much pretty. I'm not even sure why I'm taking the picture because honestly, it's everything in the new square. Although I guess some of it could be the old square too. You may not have seen all of the old square. Okay, let's put this back. I know I'm less entertaining without Alyssa. Bear with me until she comes back. Don't leave. Don't go. Let me pop the side of this off so you can see more of it. This is that pond. Let me get the program for you, the picture. So that's what it's going to look like, except that is not the correct name. And I have been a busy bee, so you probably don't want to just see his well, just trust me, his face is under there. There's an elephant face in there. But anyway, I finished, probably you did not see all the ducks and stuff last time. I finished this part and moved on over to this part, which I'm almost done with. It's like this section and like a little bit up here, there's that lily pad. The frog on the lily pad. So the bottom of the top of the pattern in this case is probably like right along there. So then this section will be done and then it'll just be this one and then finish off like that leg is missing. But it'll be done with that. Well, and of course the words. I'll need to put the words in. But you get the picture. I've been working and working and working. It's just, it's fun, it's fine, it's just, you know, working on the same project. I'm not a monogamous stitcher, so working on it after work every day, it's a bit much. But I want to get it done because now the baby's here, so she needs it. She needs it. She has to have it. Well, you want to see a new start? Because my wheel at one point said new start for the, you know, well, okay, it wasn't the wheel, it was, I told you guys I was experimenting, and I'm still doing that, where I spin the wheel and see what WIP it pulls up. And then I also do the random number generator, which is the list of all my stash, all the projects in my stash that I have not started. And then I decide whether based on whatever that number is, say this last time it was 252, I think, which was a full coverage I had not started that I wasn't ready to start. So the option was the WIP that was on the wheel, or the random number, the new start, and so I went with the WIP. But I haven't worked on it yet because I haven't stitched today. But anyway, at one point, this was the new start. It's from Mill Hill, it's Buttons and Beads, Christmas Cabin. And it has a big tree, lots of beads. Obviously, I haven't gotten to the beads yet, but I have a cabin. You didn't know, huh? Stitching at the cabin, you had no clue I had a cabin. And it doesn't look like this, but I still really like it. Both the cabin and the thing. So I was at the cabin alone for a few days, and so I started this. But I didn't get super far because then Alyssa went into labor and we had to go home. And yeah, I worked on it a little bit last night. I'm enjoying it. It doesn't look... I mean, okay, it looks full coverage, but like my brain doesn't go, oh, hey, that's full coverage until I started working on it. And I was like, okay, this is going to take a little longer than I had anticipated. I think it was, I calculated it at like 6,300 stitches or something like that. So yeah, it's not just a quick weekend project. That's, you know, 6 or 7 weekend project. That's how it's a fun one. I really like Mill Hills. And I think I have a frame, a Mill Hill frame that should work. I think I have a black one and a white one, although this would look better with blue, but, you know. I'm going to take this one off the... I didn't take a picture of that. Picture time. This is what I was supposed to work on at the cabin. But, Alyssa went into labor. and this was still out, so I did not put it away. I just threw it in the bag and we left. This is Blue Oak by Ink Circles. I don't know if I have the I do have the picture. I mean, it's not colored. That doesn't help you a lot, but yeah. I have the PDF, so this is just the printed out copy. And it's with PO 152, the silks from that Silk Blaze. It's been so long, I don't even remember. They're so soft. Silks for You? That sounds right. It could be. It definitely could be. Let me clip these back on just so my Q-snap doesn't walk around naked. We don't want naked Q-snaps. Okay, toss that over there. All right, now let's show you what we've been up to. I don't know if that's the top or the bottom. No, I think that's, this looks right, because I started on this one down here and I did a little bit more there. So that should be what's different. And as those of you who have been around a while know, this is the one where I always think, I don't know about my color choice. I do it every time. I don't know, because I dyed the fabric and then I use this one and it's so busy and I'm just like, I don't know about those colors. So then I put it away. The next time I pull it out, I go, oh, I kind of like those colors. Should I take a picture? I don't think I took a picture. Whoever's supposed to be monitoring me for the pictures is failing. You want to see other stuff? I was going to say the Christmas one, but there's stuff laying against the Christmas Afghan, so you have to wait. Here's an oldie, perhaps my oldiest. Castle. Teresa Wensler. Castle. Castle. For those of you that are on the newer side that do not know that this is probably my oldest WIP, teenage me did not know that you had to add extra fabric for the border. So when you see how close this is to the edges, it's okay, it fits. I'll figure something out. Don't freak out. And yes, it is white Aida because that was all we had back then. I would never do a Teresa Wensler on Aida ever again, no matter how much you paid me, but I'm too far to stop this. And I do not know why this is one where I'm like, ugh, I guess I'll work on it, because every time I start to work on it, I fall in love with it all over again. But I'm telling you, the next time I go to pull this out, I'm gonna be like, ugh, I don't know. But I love it, so I don't know why I do that. Can you see it? Just try to ignore all the little strings hanging down. I did a bunch of the dragon and I did some more back stitching and, you know, filled in here and there some stuff. So yeah, this pattern is out of print because Teresa Wensler has I'm gonna call it a religious issue with dragons now, which she did not have before. So all of her dragons are now like dismembered. How awful is that? Not dismantled, out of print. You can no longer get them, but isn't that beautiful? I mean, I truly can't wait for that to be done. I mean, I'm just staring at this wing over here, and the more back stitching you do, oh, it's just amazing. I truly do love it. I don't know why I always think, ugh, well, part of it, you know, is because it's white Aida, which I'm not a super fan of, but that's okay. And I am fudging things. There's fudging happening. Teenage me also could not count, apparently, and so now 48-year-old me is attempting to count like an 18-year-old. I don't even think I was 18. 16? 15? I don't know. I was a teenager. I didn't know any better. I'm going to go with that. All right. This also is not the Afghan. The Afghan is apparently going to be the last one. This is Bulbs from the Governor. Sorry, this one's going to be kind of crinkly, and I'm sorry. I don't know how it got so crinkly, but it's the black one. I mean, they're the same, but you know, black fabric, white fabric. Oh no, I did not put that back. And where did I put? put that in the to fix pile. Okay, let's pull this out. I seem to recall I did not get as much done as I had hoped for the weekend that I worked on this. It was one of those weekends. I really need to do something about the ends of this fabric. Which way is up? That's the front, that's the back. And I was working on this white one, off-white, whatever. So what I didn't realize, because of the way I had it in the Q-snap, is that I didn't finish the bulb here on this one. So I need to finish the bulb here on the middle one, and then finish the bulb here on that one. But I think the top, the flowers are done on all three. And I think the leaves are done on all three. I put the words in this one. I don't think I'm going to put words in any of the rest of them, because you can't read it. You can't read it on the pattern. You can't read it in real life. So it just seems strange to put that there. But I will do bulb hair on both of them. Yeah, I was like both, and then I was looking at three and I got confused. So as a reminder, this is that. So it's these three that you were looking at. 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 is the number of the day. 3. And the pattern, it's a little rough because it cuts the bulbs in half. So like the pattern ends, say, here, and then you have another piece of pattern page there, and so but those pages all the way across, it's something like 12 pages or something, and it's very confusing which bulb bottom, which goes with which bulb top, and I'm constantly having to refer back in the directions to that page that tells you what the layout is, which is unusual because normally, you know, it's pretty obvious what a top and bottom page are when they go together. This would be a really nice one to have in Pattern Keeper, but unfortunately, it is not PDF, so I don't see that happening. I don't even think I could beg Alyssa to make it PDF-able, Pattern Keeper-able. She's pretty amazing, but I think even she would say no. No, thank you. Okay. This is my Christmas Afghan. Winter Village Afghan? I forget what the technical term is. It's this one. Christmas Village. That's what that says, right? Christmas Village Collector's Series Afghan. It's so pretty. I just found a gram guard. I bet that was the one that was on Blue Oak. Oh, yeah. Okay. I know, that's my travel Q-snap. I should have known that because it was at the cabin when I was traveling. Okay, now, remember the last time you saw this, I had taken out that whole section at the top that was wrong. That's still wrong. It's gone now. It's not wrong, but I haven't put it back. I decided I wanted to work more on the building tree, whatever, going on over here. So this is the part that I took out up here. This is the part with the wrong color that I'm leaving, the back stitch. And then we've got that. And then that's what I worked on. Did I take a picture of any of this other stuff? I think I did. Yeah, so I worked on the trees and the house thingy. I don't know if that's a church or a house. That's where the bulk of the work was. I didn't do, you know, a ton, because, you know, who's got the time for that? But you should see some difference at least. Some sort of difference. Let's take a picture so that you can see if there's a difference. Hopefully I have a picture that shows this section, because if I don't, then you're not going to see the difference. I don't know what we took a picture of last time. Could have been anything. I do not know. Okay. I know I edited that out because I also forgot one and I had to go get it. This was a new start. My mom, I'll tell you all about her as well, but basically she's having to have hydration along with the Keytruda. So when she goes in for the infusion, instead of it just being a half hour to an hour, now it's basically 3 or 4 hours. So I decided to have a new start. like I had the one I worked on with the chemo before. Now I have this one to work on. It is from Just Nan. It's High Hopes. Isn't that a cute little kitty cat? Meow. Or meow, as Addie would say. This is backwards, so you're looking at the back of it, but it has the little charm, I guess you'd call it. The treasure, whatever, which is like a bird bath that goes in here. So we will eventually put that on. It's on a natural 32 Belfast linen Zweigler Artiste. It's one of those things I got from Hobby Lobby when they were cleansing out all the cross stitch stuff. The white is actually a DMC pearl cotton, pearl. They're like, what are you saying, Julie? You have a speech impediment. One of these. Blanc. So it sticks up more, but I think it's a good color for it. But it makes the stitches look a little less attractive. They're a little mushier. And also it didn't line up quite right down here, so everything's off like a half stitch just right there. So I'll fix that. There was a slub in the linen and I misjudged it. So that'll just take a few minutes to take out, and then I'll put it back in, and then we'll be on our way. So I probably will have to work on this. I'm forced to work on this here at the house instead of just the chemo, just the infusion, because, well, if she had a reaction, if she doesn't have the reaction, then there's less thinking hydration. We're not harvesting anything, we're hydrating things. So it's really a matter of whether or not she has a reaction again as to how much stitching time I get with that. How selfish does that sound? It depends on me. It's all about me and my stitching time. No, but I'll explain, and then you will understand what I am attempting to tell you. It will make more sense then. So that should be done somewhere around October, as well as that Orchidée Niçoise, the birdhouse sow, which is over there. I keep pointing that way. It's over there. I leave that one out so I see it and go, oh yeah, I need to work on that. Has not worked because I've been working on the pond. But I think that's the WIPs. I do have, before I show you my actual haul, Alyssa, before she had the baby, started working on the floss drops that we were making, which we showed you the last time. We have hole punched, we hung the little thingies, and she's been doing the flossing of them, the floss dropping. Isn't that beautiful? Just wanted you to see her amazing work. She has some at her house still, which she's working on. And I think she's expecting me to do these, but little does she know, I'm not doing them. She has the skill for this, not me. And then there's more empty ones, and then there's that one as well. Isn't it just all so beautiful? I want to start it so badly, but obviously I need to get the floss on there before I can really do it. I'm worried if I try to put the floss on myself, I'm going to mess it up. She really is good at it, and she seems to like it. She says it's really nice to do while she's like sitting in front of the TV. But now, with 2 kids, I'm not so sure how much time she'll get. Okay. So, I told you before that there was sugar maple fabric that went up on eBay. My husband had seen it. He has a search set, and he saw it, and he told me, but we were going on a business trip. It was like 5 in the morning. We were getting ready to leave, and I said, see, make her an offer, but blah, blah, blah. You remember all that? We didn't get it. Someone bought the 28 pieces or whatever it was, and I said, whoever it is, I know you. I don't know you. I know what you paid. I know what you did last summer, all that. So we did manage to get one of the lots, and I will show you those. Those came. There was that whole ordeal about I accidentally got the lavender and lace patterns and all that. This is Misty Moors 28 count. I could see like Princess Ileana on this if it fit, that Mirabilia, because it looks like she'd be running through like a meadow. I'm not saying that's what it's going to be. I'm just saying that was the first thing that popped into my head. But anything where you need like a meadow and a sky, this would be good for. And then there was bird. Papyrus? Papyrus. Pineapple. Rusty pineapple. I'm trying to get it out. Bird. Papyrus. Like, I know what that is. It's a word that I read like in books, and in my head I just blah 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 and then go like that thing. But you know, people kind of but yeah. Isn't that pretty? Anyway, it's not a word I say out. Yeah. You know, looking at that, my first thought, which I don't own, and I don't even think it would fit if I did, but because it's out of print, I will never own it probably, that Touching the Autumn Sky. That just popped into my head when I was looking at that through the camera. Yep. These are 28 count. I think they're all 28 count. I'll put them back after because you don't want to sit here and wait for me. In fact, I'm not even going to take most of these out now. Angel Dreams. This is 28 count. Isn't that beautiful? And there's a pattern that came with it. And it's an actual sugar maple pattern, which I did not know. Love, Peace, Joy, Harmony. I didn't even have any clue they had those. Oh, I love. Okay, I have to take this one out because it's so pretty. Petunia Path. It was my favorite of this batch. Look at this. Like, no, I don't know what I'm gonna stitch on it, but look at that. It's a little more blendy in real life. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. Isn't that beautiful? Like, again, I have no clue. Not even a tiny clue what I could possibly stitch on that, but it's so pretty. So pretty. So much pretty. This is Wild Rose. I don't know if you can see the brown in it, but there's a little bit of brown that goes with like the rose color. I don't really think this is not a solid color. It is mottled. And then this is Canada Goose. Again, I don't know how well you can really see, but beautiful, beautiful, right? So, she had sent these, I got them, everything was wonderful, yay, I love these. I'll talk while I put this one back. And my husband, because it was through eBay, he was the one mostly talking to her. I would occasionally grab his phone and respond, but mostly it was him. So he sent her a message after and says, are you going to put anything else up? And she's like, oh, well, I have some Teresa Wenzel, I have some Chatelaines. Like, she's totally speaking my language. So she sends a whole thing of the Chatelaines, like what she has, the kits, the whatever. I have several of them. The price for me wasn't, it wasn't worth it for me because I already owned several. And then a lot of them were paper patterns, which I don't get along with well. And just, even the kits, it wasn't necessarily the ones that I really wanted. Unless I already had. There was like one or two, but they were the cheaper ones. So I was like, no, it's not worth what the price that she was asking. I mean, it is, just not to me. So I passed on all that. And then I thought that was the end of it. But he asked her specifically, do you have any more sugar maple fabric? And she said, yeah, I have some more. I'm going to sell it, but it's a lot. And we were like, okay. Let me just shorten this story for you. I have 2 boxes right here of fabric. 53 pieces in one box of sugar maple. 46 pieces in the other box of silk weaver with a couple, there's like a Stony Creek, something I've never heard of before, and a couple of small things like that. 53 pieces of sugar maple. That is all that she has. But apparently she must have bought, she told me that she bought what was left when it shut down. And then she had gotten some other lots at some point. But that at this point she realizes she's not going to have the time to stitch. So she's not going to. So let me show you. I don't think I can show you every single one. I think you would all fall asleep. If you want to see every single one, I can do that. but I don't think that you truly really want that. But I had this, and I told you before that Karla being crafty was going to try to dye me a piece of fabric, because we're talking about one of these like background colors maybe, or one of the light colors, because I don't want to stitch on white. And she did, but it was really bright and not for this, but she knew instantly it wouldn't work, but she still gave it to me because I loved it. I did offer to buy it, but she may make me pay for it now with this haul. But so when I got this smoosh of fabrics, I thought, oh, I bet there's something in here, and there is a silk weaver. It's an opalescent, and I think it will work. I've held it up with all these colors and stuff, and I think that will work, I think. So I left that there so I could show that to you. Let me just show you some of this sugar maple so you believe me. A lot of it is opalescent, which I didn't even realize was a thing. This one's 32, and it's shimmering jelly bean. I have jelly bean. My Snapdragon is on regular jelly bean. This is shimmering jelly bean. Isn't that pretty? So pretty, so pretty. This is opalescent abracadabra. So pretty, so pretty. This is stormy sky. Super pretty. Do you want me to say that every time? Sun dappled glade. This one is another petunia path, just like that one I showed you. Is that not one of the most beautiful fabrics you've ever seen in your entire life? I love it so much. Let me see, what else is in here? There's pumpkin pie. Is there anything else that really catches your eye? There's Fairy's Eve, Aquarius, Clematis. That one is another one that I just think is so beautiful. And you've got Earth Princess. So you get the picture. There's a lot in here. Some of them are more neutral and not super mottled, like Smoldering Oak. These are pretty neutral. A lot of neutrals are at the top because I was looking for, oh, this one's so pretty. Oh, that's Aquarius again. But isn't that pretty? So much beautifulness. Okay, so that's the sugar maple. I mean, there's an entire box. That's not, I showed you what, 8 of 53. And then the silk weavers, again, a lot of these at the top are the more, well, most of these actually were neutrals, but what is this? Reflections, Precious Metals, opalescent. Periwinkle Prism, it's another reflections. We have Creekstone, it's pretty green. And then there's just Green Apple, Sapphire Sky. There's a solo dye. The solo dyes are actually my favorite in here. Look at that pretty purple. This is a mini solo romantic interlude. So pretty. I'm trying to find, there's one solo that I fell in love with. Might be this one. Yeah, it's this one. I keep taking this one out and looking at it. Silk weavers seem to be smaller, but still. Isn't that beautiful? It's just a solo dye. It's so small. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to stitch on it, but I occasionally do small things. So, if for some reason you want to see all of them, I can make that happen. I don't know that I want to take every single one out of the package and show it. I could. I just think that might be very loud and time consuming, and probably people would fall asleep. But if you want to see all of them, I can figure out some way to do a video. Just let me know in the comments. But otherwise, I have these 2 massive boxes. That was 99 pieces of fabric in that one haul. And then I had the other, I think it was 6 that I showed you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, another 6 sugar maple on top of that 53. I'm not going to need to buy fabric for a while. although I also don't know really how to store it. So, you know, Alyssa had gotten me that system, but then she went and had a baby, and yeah, I it's just in boxes at the moment because I needed to show it to you, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do. The other part of the haul, which you can't see because it's over there, it was garage sale weekend at the cabin over Memorial Day, and those 2 frames over there with those big like ornate gold kind of frames that you would put like actual canvas artwork in, but my husband thinks he can make them work for cross stitch. I have nothing stitched that would fit or would be appropriate at the moment, but I have them tucked in over there under the window so that when I do someday, I have the frame. Okay. I could technically spin for today because I haven't started the thing, and I spun yesterday in preparation for today because I knew I hadn't filmed. So we'll see what this is. So either I'll work on Oriental Harem, which is a Chatelaine, and that's what I had intended to work on, or whatever this is. But if I just stick with Oriental Harem, then whatever this is, I'll do next weekend. I should be at the cabin, so we'll see. So we'll just decide. We'll decide. What is it? Elegant Tapestry. That is my that was my unicorn. That's that Dimensions. I should have put a picture, or at least some portion of a picture in here. At this point, I think I would stick with Oriental Harem because I just worked on the Elegant Tapestry not that long ago. But let's also do the random number generator just in case a new start sounds like more fun. I do have quite a few new starts I still want to do, and most of them are full coverage. So this is going to be a crazy year. But you know, I figure I need to start them when I'm younger so I have all that time to do it, and we'll see. 204 is the number. So now I have to find the picture. So pause, and I'll come back and tell you what it was. Okay, so 204 was Sleeping Beauty, Mirabilia. Probably I'll work on Elegant Tapestry, but we'll see. My thing was if they seem equal, then I go with the WIP. But I'm not sure if they seem equal. I have to go look at it to decide whether it's equal or not. So that'll either be today or next weekend. I'm all willy-nilly about it. I think that's it for stitching. I feel like there was something I wanted to tell you, someone you should watch or something, but that has now slipped my mind. So I do not know. Yeah, so send me your finishes, send me your WIPs. Adrian, let me know, and I'll send you the winnings. Let me know whether or not you want to see a fabric display. I have no problem either way. Okay, so other. I have some crazy stories for you guys. I hope you got a little bit of time. If not, it was nice. Welcome. Thank you. Goodbye. I'll see you next time. I will start with the baby story, but let me just tell you that the story after that is the truly insane one. So I had gone to the cabin Thursday afternoon, evening-ish, because they have garage sales on Memorial Day weekend in the surrounding town. The whole town will do a garage sale. Not the entire town, but you know. And the woman who owns a cabin near mine, one of the women, she lost her husband in the last couple of years. And so every year I go up and I do that with her. So I went up Thursday, and unfortunately our truck was at the dealership. It had a leak in the back where the brake light is. It leaked, and that was a recall. But it also, we had so much rain, it had really truly leaked, and it was bad. It was really, really bad. There was so much water inside. So we had taken it to the dealer, and they had said, yeah, we'll definitely fix that, and we'll replace like the headliner and the carpet and everything. But they had to order the parts, and it was about a month before they got them in. So, and it just kept raining every weekend in the meantime. So we had taken the truck to the dealership. It had been there 3 weeks. It was supposed to be a 3-day project. It had been 3 weeks, and it was still there. So I had reached out to the service manager guy, and I was like, listen, I'm not trying to be difficult, but my daughter is about to have a baby, and we need the car seat in the Cadillac. I need the truck or something. I need something because I have to leave and I can't take the only vehicle. So they were nice enough to loan us a truck, and they sent a Lyft driver to come get me because there was really no other way for me to get there. My husband was at work, and so I drove this bright blue truck. So I took that up to the cabin, parked, did all the things I needed to do. My husband came up Saturday morning, and he drove the Cadillac up, and he stopped at Costco, and he got food. We had invited that woman to come have dinner with us. So when he got there, I was raking pine needles, because this is that time of year again where we have to rake all the pine needles. They want it within 100 feet of the cabin, but we only go 30 because we're not crazy. Excuse me, 100 feet would be doing the neighbors' cabins. So I had started raking the day before, and it's exhausting, but it's good exercise. So he came up, we put everything away, you know, hi, I missed you, all that fun stuff. And so then he raked too, and he did some weed whacking, and we did more raking, and we were absolutely exhausted. We decided to go to town. We got a sandwich that we came back, we shared. Then we had a surprise visitor, the guy from the observatory. There's a little tiny observatory close by, and occasionally he'll let us go up there, and we've seen like Jupiter, we've seen the moon, we've seen Saturn, maybe? I don't know. It's really neat. So he just popped by and said, hey, he was going to be at the observatory if we wanted to come up. And I said, well, we have, you know, dinner guests, but maybe after that. And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. Just let me know. That was the plan. So after a while, he left, and the dinner guests came, and we had dinner. And during dinner, Alyssa texted me that she was having contractions. And I was like, yeah, but are they contractions? And she said, well, there's only like mild pain, and you know, maybe not. Who knows? She said, don't rush back or anything. I'm just letting you know. So I'm like, all right. And then they seemed to get worse during dinner. And eventually she was like, okay, you might have to come home. But at this point, it was 9 o'clock at night, and my husband had already put jammies on. We were watching TV, like, maybe it was 8:30. It's probably 8:30. But by the time we got all the dishes done, the cabin all packed up and everything, it was probably 9:30 when we left. And we had to drive separately. We were both tired because we had raked all day, and he had just driven that morning, and I had not slept well the night before. So it was like, bad timing. But we started driving. Now, this is a loaner vehicle, so my phone is not attached to it. And I could tell with my watch that I was getting a bunch of texts. So when we got into town, I pulled over by the gas station. He was following me, so he pulled in behind me. And I read the text, and it was Alyssa saying, you need to come to the house. Like, we're not bringing the baby to you. You need to come to our house. So I hopped out. I told my husband, and I said, you need to call them, find out what's going on. I'm going to drive. We're trying to decide whether to go to our house and drop off stuff and then to her house, or just go straight to her house. But the parking at her house isn't very good, and now we would have 2 vehicles instead of 1. And I was so tired, and he was so tired. He had his window open trying to keep the cold air, and it was just a thing. We had food with us. What do we do? I mean, they have a fridge, but you know, the whole thing. So finally, we decide that we're going to go to our house, grab jammies and stuff, because we didn't have that with us because the cabin's fully stocked. And then we would together go over there, which is what we did. We got there probably about 11 to her house. She was sitting on one of those big like exercise balls, like having contractions. And it was clear to me instantaneously, she's actually in labor. This wasn't Braxton Hicks. This was, no, if you can't talk to me while you're like moaning in pain, it's a real contraction. And they were probably 4 to 5 minutes apart. So off they went to the hospital. Mike and I went upstairs and had the baby monitor and all that. They had set up an air mattress for us, and we slept through the night, which means neither one of us actually slept because there's noises we're not used to, and the dog was unhappy, and we were watching the baby monitor, and Addie woke up at like 5 in the morning, but then she went back to sleep, and doesn't matter. So we pack her up, you know, we feed her and everything, we pack her up, we take her to our house, and we have her for the next 3 days. So we had a total of like 4 days. She was absolutely amazing. We fell in love with her completely. I mean, we were already in love with her, but like, she is just so amazing. We had so much fun. We went on picnics, we went on walks. We just had such a good time with her. She is so cute, so much fun. when we had to give her back, I actually came home and started crying because I missed her. Like, I walked in and I saw her stroller thingy and I started crying. And I was miserable that night. I ended up going to bed at like 8. I was just so sad. So sad. I missed her. I missed my baby. Not my baby, but I'll take her. Anyway, Alyssa had the baby. So we got the Saturday night at like 11. She had the baby at 6 something Sunday morning. So we were able to see the picture, and I won't give you all the details because I don't know, and it's her story to tell, and she'll tell you when she gets back. But basically, the cord was around the baby's neck, and the baby was purple, and the heart rate had dropped, and Alyssa pushed for 6 minutes. I think it was a total of 12 minutes from the time her water broke and the heart decelerated to when the baby was born. 12 minutes. With 6 minutes of that pushing. They had to get that baby out. They said there wasn't enough time for the C-section. Push. The baby was in the NICU for 3 days. She did not breathe on her own well. She was on a CPAP. They tried to put her on the room oxygen. It didn't work, so they had her on a CPAP for several days. They didn't feed her. They were feeding her through an IV. She had a nasogastric tube to release like the air that was going in her stomach and stuff. Anyway, she was finally able to go home, and she's absolutely beautiful. I've only met her twice so far. The first time was in the NICU. I wasn't able to hold her, but I was able to go in and talk to her. She was fast asleep. And then when we dropped off Addie, I was able to hold new baby briefly, and she's absolutely perfect. I'm so excited for them. New baby's name is Olivia Page. Page being the middle name. She was 7 pounds 4 ounces, I believe, and she went into labor on her due date, which I thought was pretty impressive. So she was born the day after, but that was still pretty good. Alyssa can fill you in on all the details, but she's absolutely, I'm sure I have put in pictures, or I am currently putting in pictures, or there will be future pictures, but we were able to see Addie hold her for the first time. Addie got to see her that time. We were able to bring Addie to the hospital and visit while the baby was in the NICU, and so she got to see her, but it was only one adult at a time. So Alyssa's husband went in with each of us so that we could see. And then when we dropped Addie off, they let Addie hold Olivia, and it was just the sweetest thing. They're so cute. I'm sure you have seen pictures of that. There's probably not video or anything, but you could see pictures. So we're looking forward to spending more time with all babies involved, but we definitely 100% would take old baby back in a heartbeat. She's just amazing. Okay. 2 crazy stories for you. Sorry, there's a text. I got confused. My husband's iPad. While I was at the cabin, I went to dinner with the woman. I told you her husband had passed away. I went to dinner with her. We were in this little restaurant. It's very small. We were in a side room. There's maybe 4 booths back where we were. It's kind of narrow. There's only one way in and one way out. And we were just sitting there chatting. We've eaten there before. We just have a great time together. No husbands or anything. Well, I mean, hers passed away, but whatever. It was just girl talk. And I had my back to the entranceway, and these 2 guys came in and sat down at a booth across from us. And I didn't pay much attention. I just looked up, saw them, kind of mentally thought, they seem a bit unstable. I'm not real sure if they're drunk or mentally unstable. I don't know. There's just something. I was like, something's not right. But they're over there. We're over here. Whatever. So we chat, and we both noticed that they ordered Cadillac margaritas, which are absolutely delicious, but it's more alcohol than I can handle because I'm not a drinker. Doesn't matter. We continue our conversation, and the one guy gets up and walks out, and I assume he's going to the restroom. So we're talking, and all of a sudden you hear, I'm not going to do it loudly because I don't want to startle any of you with like headphones. You hear, oh! And I turned and looked, and he's sitting there with his hands up over his head. Then he says, H! And he has his hands up. And so I look away. I'm like, okay, mentally unstable, whatever. I'm not looking. I'm not looking. But she's looking. And apparently he sees her looking. And so then he says to her, Buckeyes. And she says, I wouldn't know anything about that, and look down. Which is actually pretty funny because she's the splittiest splitster I know. Like, she goes to the Dodger training camps. They flew to like Baltimore to go to a Ravens game. Like, she's into sports. Huge time. So don't tell me you don't know what Buckeyes are. Like, I don't know what that is. I assume that's a sports team. I couldn't even tell you what sport, but whatever. Does not matter. So we're just like, okay, crazy person. So we just try not to have eye contact. Other guy comes back, we're eating, I pay, but we're sitting there chatting. And all of a sudden, a glass falls over there. And it was the guy that had gone to the restroom. And he was like, oops, good thing there was nothing in it. And then we go back to the thing, and then boom, the glass falls over again. And I look over, and I'm just like, what is your problem? Like, stop knocking the glass over. And then again, like, there's nothing in it. So they get up to leave, and I notice the Ohio guy is holding his glass, and he walks out holding his glass. And I'm like, okay, that's glass. I don't think you can take that out of the restaurant. I think the restaurant owns that. Maybe put it back, but I don't say a thing. I just go back and we continue the conversation. Maybe a minute later, I notice movement, and the guy is standing right here. And I'm on, it's a booth, but it's a small booth, and I'm kind of to the left, and she's sort of to the right. And so he's right in front of me. And he kind of leans in a little bit, and he says, ladies, do you know what the scariest plant in the jungle is? Now, some of you have heard this joke, and you know where this is going. Those of you who have not, I am not going to do what he did, because I do not want to traumatize you. So part of my brain is thinking, don't talk to him. Like, stranger danger, don't talk to him. Another part of my brain is saying, you have to talk to him, because if you don't, he's just going to get more aggressive. And yet another part of my brain is like, what's the scariest plant in the jungle? And trying to puzzle it out. So the three portions of my brain discuss and decide that I'm going to say, I don't know. So that's what I say to him. He leans even closer in, and he says, bam. And then he screams at the top of his lungs, boo, bamboo, bam, boo! He screams it. Everybody has fight or flight. Mine is flight. Mine has never been fight. 100,000 different times it's been flight. I grab the handles of my purse and I'm ready to go. But he's standing there and he's blocking the exit. But I am holding on for dear life because he scared the bejesus out of me. I watched the woman across from me, and she went up in the air and off to the side, hit the wall, and bounced down. I've never seen her jump like that. She was startled. Like, she was probably every bit as scared as I was. There was a table across from us. I saw all of them jump. It was terrifying. He walks off, and I tell her we need to leave. And she's like, we can't leave because he's out there, and he shouldn't be driving, but he might be driving, but he's going to be out there, and we're just going to run into him again. I'm like, okay. So she's trying to stand up and look out the window, but she can't really see. She's too short. The window's high. So we're just kind of sitting there talking, and the people at that table over there get kind of quiet, and then the guy says, I don't think you should have another margarita. And I'm like, oh no, he's back. And so my friend says, yeah, you shouldn't have another margarita, and you also shouldn't be driving. He walks back over to the table, and I'm like, we have to go. He walks back over the table, and he says, you can use that, but use it appropriately. You can use that joke, but use it appropriately. And I was like, okay. And he turned around and walked out. And I was like, no, I'm not okay with this. We need to go. But we can't go because we have to wait for him to go. So we wait a while, and then we go. And we did not see him again. I do not know why crazy people talk to me. I am a magnet to absolute insanity. I have had some of the strangest experiences, this being real high up on the list of things I don't want to do again. He was probably homeless. I'm sure he was on something besides just alcohol. I'm sure he was on some sort of drugs, and just, he was probably harmless. I did not enjoy that at all. No, thank you. So now everybody teases me about bamboo, because they'll text, like Alyssa and Mike, I told them, and they would text me little tiny bam and then giant boo. Be glad I didn't do it to you like he did to me. It was spooky. I'll tell you about my mom, but let me tell you the other really crazy story, because I've already sort of told you. I told you about the truck being at the dealership. Well, it was supposed to be done Friday, but I was at the cabin Thursday, so I just didn't talk to them. I didn't say, because I couldn't bring the truck back. And I had already told them, because there's a thing you have to sign saying that you'll pay $120 a day if you don't bring it back within 24 hours of when they tell you your vehicle's ready. I told them I can't do that, and they said it's okay, we understand, and they put on there that I had until June 5th to return it. So we get back Saturday, but we have Addie until Tuesday, so we don't do anything. So Wednesday morning, I reach out to the dealership, and I say, hey, can you give me an update? And he says, it's going to be ready by 2 today. But that causes a problem because of the way things happen with work. My husband had to be at work super early, Thursday morning, because somebody had called in, not sick, but whatever, you don't care. Thursday morning, he had to be there. So he couldn't, I added him to the truck so that he could take the truck. It's on the way to work. He could take the truck, drop it off, and pick up the new one. But now with traffic, and because you can't take fast track and all that, fast track is like a toll thing, and you can go through the toll roads. It's faster, but you have to pay, but you can't with a loaner vehicle. Doesn't have an account attached to it. So he can't, there's no way he's going to get to work, because they don't open till 7, and he has to be at work at 8, and with where it is, and with not being able to take the toll roads and stuff, there's no way. But I'm trying to get caught up, because I am so far behind. I haven't worked since Thursday morning, and now we're on Wednesday. I am so far, and now Alyssa's on maternity leave, so I'm doing her job and my job. I don't have time, but it ends up working out. I'm going to have to go pick it up, because there's just no other way. So as soon as it's ready, it ended up being earlier than 2. As soon as it was ready, I jammed over there, I dropped off the truck. On the way to pick up mine, we're walking towards it, he tells me, he asked me, do you have pets? And I said, well, I have parrots, but no, I don't have pets. He said, the tech said that there was urine in the back. And I was like, no. And he said, yeah, he said it smelled like urine and it was wet, like there was urine in the back seat. And I was like, no, no. He said, well, it was on the floor, it was like everywhere. And I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, well, he wanted me to tell you, because if you had dogs or something, maybe you just didn't know that they were using that as the bathroom. And I was like, no. I mean, we had Taco before, but he never rode in the back, and he was always on my lap, and for the last, 6 months of his life, he had diapers on, but he was always in the front with me, in my lap, in a blanket, in a diaper. No. I thought that was really strange. But when I told my husband about it, he's like, well, we did bring it in because it was leaking so much water, and you could lift up the seat and the water would just dump out. So maybe it was just like, it was rusty and maybe a little stinky because of that. So we're like, yeah, maybe, whatever. So I have a nice conversation with the guy. I go out, I get in the truck, and I take it home, and everything seems fine. My husband looks at it that night, and he sees that we have Excedrin migraine that was in the center console, and it's now dumped all over the floor. I have a picture. And so we're like, that's weird, but whatever. And the measuring tape was outside of the center console, which also was odd. And he ended up looking at the center console, and it just like someone who rummaged around in there. And we thought it was strange, but who knows what people do when they've got your truck for a month. No big deal. So he found some little minor things, but nothing major. So then he drove it to work the next day. He didn't say anything. And then yesterday, he had to go to the cabin to actually get rid of the pine needles that we had raked out. And he decided to stop at Wendy's and get a breakfast sandwich. And when he put the drink in the cup holder, he noticed this. Now, I'm not judging anyone who does any sort of anything. If you smoke, if you do drugs, you do you, boo. We do not. Neither one of us smokes. I have never done any drug of any kind stronger than Excedrin migraine or, a painkiller after surgery or whatever. I've not even tried weed. I have not. So I know this is not ours. And I ask him if it smells like marijuana, and he says it does. And I'm like, why is there a blunt in our truck? And he says he doesn't know, but he's starting to suspect that perhaps somebody got into our truck, like it wasn't locked at some point, and someone during that time got in there. So I said, I will talk to the dealer. So I ended up talking to a service guy, and he began by telling me, no, it was locked, it was up on the roof of a building, and that roof is gated, there's no way anyone could get up, and there's security, so if you walk onto the lot, there's like a recording that says, we're closed, you need to leave, and if you continue, then the monitored surveillance people will call the police, and they'll come and escort you off. So that tells me it was an employee? So I was like, so, you know, who else could it have been? And then and he's like, well, I guess for the sake of transparency, I have to tell you that there have been times when the guys have come in the morning and found people sleeping in cars. So there was an odd substance on one of the seats. And at first we thought it was like silica gel, you know, like the silica packets, maybe one had burst open or something. Like, I don't know what they look like, but that's what I imagine silica would look like. So my husband just vacuumed it up. But it didn't make any sense with where it was, because I was on a front seat, and like, why would that be there? Because all the work they were doing was in the back. And as far as we knew, it had nothing to do with silica, and there was no packet. I'm sure I showed you a picture of it. So we got to thinking about it, and we did some Googling, and now we're concerned that there was a homeless person sleeping in our truck, probably peed in the back, smoked the weed, and perhaps those are bath salts. I know that sounds crazy, but if you look at a picture of bath salts, that's what it looks like. Because if you look up silica gel, it's beads. They're perfectly round beads. This is not perfectly round. Now, perhaps there are other kinds of silica where that is not the case. I do not know. I am not saying for certain that there were bath salts on the seat. I'm just saying something happened with our truck while it was gone. So after a bit more conversation, he says he has already spoken to the manager, and they would like us to please bring the truck back on Monday, and they will deep clean it. They will sanitize it. They still have some sanitizers from COVID, and they will clean it top to bottom. We need to take everything that belongs to us out, and they will throw away anything that does not belong to us, and they will deep clean it. So Monday morning we are dropping it off, and Monday afternoon we are picking it back up, because we are not leaving it overnight again. Is that not the craziest thing? Crazy. Okay, so the last thing, I'm sorry, all of you are tired of listening to me. The last thing is my mom, the update on my mom. She, I told you she got into the clinical trial, but she got randomized into the Xeloda instead of the Dado. She took the Xeloda for a few days. She got really sick, so they took her off of it. She went back on it briefly. She got really sick. They took her back off of it. So she's been off of it for a while. We saw the doctor last week on Tuesday. Addie and my husband actually went with us, and so she got to spend some time with my mom, which was super cool. But I really enjoyed that. Anyway, so the doctor said, yeah, get back on it, but we'll do a lower dose. So Thursday, I took her for the Keytruda and the hydration infusion, and she took the drugs while there, and she got sick the next day. But she seems to be doing better with it. So I think it's going to be okay, but we will have hydration every Thursday if she has a reaction. Otherwise, just once every 3 weeks when she gets the Keytruda. So that's where that stitching is sort of, I started thinking it was going to be every week, and now it looks like it could be every 3 weeks. Doesn't matter. I love it. She loves it. I'm going to do it no matter what. It's just how much of it will be there with her and how much of it will be here. She might have to be a little more patient with this one. It may not be done exactly in October. We'll see. I have a lot that I have to finish. So that's where we stand with her. I think I told you guys the Signatera test came back negative, so there is no cancer in her bloodstream, which is good. She also has not done radiation yet, so she will need to do that eventually. And I think that's where we are with that. So I think that's everything I was going to tell you. Now I need to go stitch. I need to clean this up and I need to go stitch. So thank you for watching, especially if you stuck this out the whole time. That was a lot of me blah 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 blah, but I appreciate it. So I will see you guys 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know, depends on how crazy things are with work and stuff, but if all goes well, I'll see you in 2 weeks. If it doesn't, I'll see you in 3. Bye.